Welcome to PCMC, Pop Culture Man Children. I know that sounds toxic, but it's not. This is PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm the host. I'm here with one of my rotating hosts. And by that, I mean she's literally twirling right
spinning.
now.
Oh, constantly spinning.
Ms. Janine Gagliardi.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm gonna post Thanksgiving sweatpants outfit.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Lord knows I'm not wearing hard pants today.
This is your first PCMC after the election.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone who's come on the show since the election, there's been some kind of like, how you doing? How are we? How do we feel? What are we doing?
To check in.
How are we?
Unsurprised, sadly. Yeah. I feel like this time around, and I think it's also sort of a widespread feeling where, you know, the last time he won, I was like in utter shock and I couldn't believe it. And it really like hit me and took me down. I was like, wow. And this time I was like, well, here we go again. We go again. And then the following days were just like cabinet picks and everyone being so shocked and Republicans are shocked. And I'm like, are you nuts?
Right.
How are you shocked by anything this man does or doesn't do? Like, are you seriously that stupid? Do you have such a short memory that you don't remember that he hired everybody in his last cabinet and then fired everybody in his last cabinet and it's a complete chaotic circus shit show? But here we go again. Let's all have like no prices on groceries anymore. Everything's going to be free. He has an inflation button he can just press. Remember, guys?
Yeah. Like,
how dumb is America?
That's a great question.
That's going to be the great poll clip when I'm like running for office one day. Be like, how dumb is America? She said this on and I stand by it. And I stand by it.
I think that's a great question because, you know, like after
gullible are you dumbasses?
After an election like this one, there's a lot of postmortem. You know, what could Kamala have done better? What could Trump have done worse?
I think she ran a great race.
Why did this work? I think so too. She didn't.
She seems like a sane individual.
Right, and she didn't do liberal things. Like, people, like, it was their side that are obsessed with trans people.
Yeah.
Like, she never said anything about trans people.
They're
like,
obsessed with defunding police. They're obsessed with trans. They're obsessed with
all these
like putting men in girls' sports, which is the goal of every Democrat, is to have a 45-year-old man on a children's soccer team. Like, that's what we want.
She was trying so hard to reach out and be like, I own a gun. Here's Lynn Cheney.
I'm going to shoot her just like her dad shot a man on a golf or not a golf course when he was hunting.
Duck hunt. But going to your point, and I know this sounds like really snotty, I just do think we are dumb. And I know that sounds bad, and I know it's the people will go, well, that's the kind of attitude that makes people not want to be liberal. And it's like, no, I don't think that's true. I think there's a little bit of people that are Democrats and they vote that way. There's a little bit of people that are Republicans. And then there's a lot. Undecided's not a small amount, really. I think because people could be registered one way or another and still be undecided. I think the majority of us are undecided. And we blow in the wind. We don't pay attention. We have no idea. I'll vote this way next time. I'll vote this way the next time. I don't really care. I don't have thoughts or beliefs in things. This guy's a more interesting guy. She has a weird laugh or whatever. I mean, if you want to know if we're stupid, and of course PCMC listeners are not stupid. You're listening to PCMC. You're
very
obviously
smart.
one of the elite.
Extremely.
But
high
did you
IQ.
see the Google released the numbers of people that Googled how can I change my vote?
Oh, God.
It was a huge peak after the election, which is in some ways heartening, but also so disheartening because it's like, oh, sweetheart, you can't change your vote. You should have done the thinking part before the voting part. You did it backwards.
The leopards ate my face subreddit has been popping off.
I know.
Like, I have a child with special needs. I rely on the Department of Education to help my child.
My kid has an IED.
Yeah. They have an explosive device.
No, No,
an IEP.
IEP. Yeah, sorry. And it's funny in my job I deal with them, and I always get it wrong.
An IED. My child has an IED.
Improvised explosive device.
Yeah, that's it.
And the Department of Ed gives it to them.
Now they do. So many people like relying on the Department of Education being like, well, he said he was going to get rid of it, but he's not really, right? They're not going to let him. I'm like, who's they, babe? They're gone. They're all gone. All those days are gone.
These people who are like,
there's nobody left on the Supreme Court.
Him. Yeah,
like there's nobody left in Congress. Like no one is there to stop him.
That's what Kamala said. She said, she said, I think one of the greatest insults of all time, but he's too dumb to know that it was an insult. She said he's a deeply unserious man, which I think is such a funny truth, like such a cutting insult to be like, this is a deeply unserious person, but believe the things he says. I'm not all doom and gloom. I'm not saying things are gonna be great, but I'm not all doom and gloom. I we'll see what happens. In some ways, he is a lame duck.
In some ways, but he can do a lot of damage.
Oh, sure.
But I'm not doom and gloom either. I'm just sort of like, okay, but you'll see.
Make me, that's the thing.
And
too.
I'm not trying to be smug either. I'm just like,
I don't want to walk around with hate in my heart because that's your thing.
You'll just see.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. If you're unhappy, then that's on you, man. I didn't. Everybody who has like those, a lot of people on where we live have like flags outside their house that say, "Don't look at me. I voted for Trump." And I'm like, I would never look at you again. Don't worry, I won't. But also, like, I don't know how any thinking person can be like, everything I experience on a daily basis is Joe Biden's fault. Every single thing, all my ailments, all the grocery prices, all the gas price, like it's all his fault individually.
Because most Americans, we are a dumb people. We just are. When she talks, right? You and I think like, oh, that was an interesting point. I like the way she said that. When she starts to go, ladies and gentlemen, everyone else is like, the third grade minds are like, bah, 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 bah. When he's like, hey everybody, how you doing? I talk like a guy on TV. They're like, oh, I'm paying attention now.
Right.
Like you don't sound like a grown up.
Like dancing and doing weird
right.
shit.
He talks like an idiot. And they're like, yes, that's how I think. You're thinking the way I think, which is not very well.
No. And now you get to be in charge of everything. Isn't that fun?
Yeah. It's really
great?
This is the Mickey Mouse episode. So anyway, look,
we're really going off.
We got it out of our system. Let's move on. Let's lean into the things we love and we enjoy.
Oh, we certainly do.
This is yet another Mickey Mouse episode. What are we talking about today?
His birthday just passed.
How old is he now?
96. Spry and young.
Okay, yeah, 96.
He's 96.
He looks
November 18th,
great.
I believe.
He looks great for his age.
Not too long ago.
Yes.
And Minnie is also 96.
She's exactly the age. She premiered the same.
She's the
cartoon
same age as he is. Yeah,
they're the exact same age.
And Pete the cat as well, right?
I
don't think he goes by.
You think
he is a cat though?
Sometimes he's a dog.
Sometimes he's a dog.
Yeah, and sometimes he has a peg leg. Sometimes he doesn't.
Right.
He has a peg leg in what we're talking about today because they try to go traditional.
Yes.
Pete is the oldest current Disney character because he was a villain to Oswald the Rabbit.
Oh wow. Okay.
And Disney just stole him back.
Well, there is a character, Pete the cat. He's like a children's book character, like currently.
Oh, I remember Eek the cat.
Eek the cat, yeah.
When I was in the 90s. Because trying to look at the number of the episode. The History of Mickey Mouse with writer Jeff Ryan. That is episode number 339. So that was just not that long ago, if you want to hear the history of Mickey. Today we're focusing specifically on the Disney Plus series, The Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which ran from 2020 to 2023. It has, depending on how you think about it, 20 regular episodes
and 5 specials.
And 5 specials, yeah. Or 4 specials and then one more short, which I think was like a celebration of because it's about Steamboat.
Yeah, and it's
Willie.
The finale. It's the last one.
It's done.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're done with this Mickey.
I hope not. So this Mickey was, I think originated in 2013 with the Mickey Mouse shorts that appeared online. So this is like the pre-Disney Plus era.
Yeah.
And that ran for a while.
I think they primarily came out online, but also
ran
on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, on the Disney Channel.
Yeah, they were 2013 to 2019. This is ostensibly a sequel to those shorts.
So this is a series created by Paul Rudish.
I don't know if it was, but he's the guy behind it. Yeah, he's the executive producer. He's the supervising director
behind this. They have a really interesting design. They're like the old school like white and black Mickey design. And I always like call them like it's Mickey Mouse by way of like Ren and Stimpy.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
And it's not like in the Adult Swim sense of like dark for the sake of being dark. Like I actually find that the darkness that is there kind of really works and sort of enhances and acts as like a chaser to all of the sweetness that is Mickey Mouse.
Yes.
And so that series ran for a while, and then it also produced 2 specials, a Halloween special and a Christmas special.
I haven't seen the Christmas one.
It's called Duck the Halls. It's really good.
Okay.
The Halloween special is better, but they're both really good.
Yeah.
And then it turned in. I guess they took a year break, and then they came back with Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse, which is I love.
Yeah.
So
the title was a reference to what was originally called The Wonderful World of Color.
Okay.
Which was because Color TV was new. Yeah, because the Walt Disney show. And then it was later called The Wonderful World of Disney. To go to the visual style. So it's very postmodern. And by that, I mean like it harkens back to the 30s Mickey. He doesn't have flesh tones. He has white and black. And he has pie eyes.
Yeah.
But he's not really, he doesn't look like 30s Mickey. He looks, there's something very contemporary about the way he looks. It's
a lot of blending of styles. There's like a little bit of Cal Arts style.
Yeah, it's very Cal Arts, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely informed. It was,
but I don't say that as a bad thing.
It is coming up in the Cal Arts era, right?
Right.
So it definitely came up around that time when it's more minimal looking.
People use that as an derisive term, which I don't. I think Cal Arts. I think it's.
I love Cal Arts.
Yeah. It has a simplicity to it. The character designs are very, very interesting. They do harken back to earlier designs, but they're very exaggerated too. Like Mickey, his pants are like bigger than his torso, which is an interesting choice. And the backgrounds are they're kind of color. Sometimes they look like watercolors, and they run, and they even look a little like thin the way watercolors can. And sometimes they look like printing, like screen printing, or even like comic book printing. And sometimes they do that thing that you would get as an error in old comic books where the color and the black line are not, it looks like the color's coming out of the black line.
Oh, yeah.
Which comes from just a misalignment in printing the comic. You see that sometimes in the backgrounds of this show. So, like anything postmodern, it has a sort of like a feel to it that's self-reflexive. Like, this is a cartoon. Look at the artwork here. But I also think it's very charming. And you know why I think he's not going away? Because they made, I think, the really interesting choice to choose this style to do Runaway.
Yes. Yeah. Runaway Train in Mickey's Runaway Train in Disney World and Disneyland now.
You've been on it.
I've been on it. I love it. And it's so I took over the Great Movie Ride. A lot of old diehard MGM fans were really sad about, but it's a great ride. It has like state of the art technology, trackless cars. It's like a mix of cars and screen rides, the way that Ratatouille is.
Yeah.
And it's this Mickey, which I thought was so cool because this Mickey feels subversive in a way.
It's funny. He's subversive, but only because for so long
Mickey just didn't have a personality.
He was just to be semiotic about it. He was just a floating signifier. He was just an empty image.
Yeah,
like and I this is not an insult because I like that. I like iconography and stuff like that. I like, the idea of like super flat, like Murakami's art, like just like Hello Kitty or things like that. Like it's just art for art's sake. He had a character in the beginning. He was a trickster and he was sort of naughty. You see this in the early 30s shorts. But then as people loved him, his character went away. He was
blander and just kind of pleasant.
And Goofy and Donald come from different parts of his original personality. Mickey... The cruel streak in Mickey, Walt wouldn't allow to come out anymore. So when a writer would be like, oh, let's do this with Mickey, he'd be like, that's a funny idea, but you have to do it with Donald. Or he'd say the duck. He would just call them the duck or the mouse. Or if it was the other part of Mickey that was like foolish, if they had an idea for that and they thought it was good, he'd be like, yeah, you have to do that with Goofy.
So they all become archetypes.
Yeah, and Mickey becomes
have one
nothing.
emotion, right? And
But at
Mickey
least
is
they
just
have something.
happy,
Mickey has nothing.
Optimistic.
Yeah, that's it.
And he doesn't give up, right? Like he
Yes.
always tries because he has to be like a lesson for children.
Right. Which is fine, but
This one is great.
it makes it's
And
funny, it seems subversive, the choice to make him someone.
Just to make him a
Make
character.
him a character, yeah.
And the best part about it is that it's almost like a behind the music approach for Mickey in the sense where it's like, okay, you've seen the band, right?
Yes.
You've seen them perform.
Oh, wow, yeah.
This is what's behind the scenes of that.
Right.
And it doesn't take away from the performance. It doesn't take away from the Mickey that we've seen for all these years.
You're so right.
Being happy.
Absolutely.
But he's like a tryhard. He's a people pleaser. He's anxious.
Super anxious.
He's so anxious.
The choice
and it's
to
so
make
great.
him so anxious.
Yes.
And even to the point where he irritates his friends.
Yes.
Is
and they
so
love
funny.
him. They still love him, which is great, but they have real
makes you-
friendships with him where you get annoyed at your friends.
It makes
so
you
good.
respect Donald's point of view more.
Yes.
Because you could see why Donald would seem cranky when his best friend is Mr. Sunshine.
Yeah, all the time, even to the point of being irrational.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, this doesn't make sense to do anymore, Mickey.
Right.
Oh, and Minnie is great as well.
Yeah.
Mickey.
She enables him though.
She can be an enabler, but she's also his greatest defender.
Yes.
But
also she'll tell him the truth. Like
they kiss a lot on this show.
Yes, they do.
Which I love.
The ghost episode where the ghosts.
Oh, Mickey, no.
Yeah, when he slimes the cookie and he's like, everything's okay, and he goes to eat the cookie. She's like, no, Mickey,
please no. But she's the one. She's like, I gotta get rid of these ghosts because my too nice boyfriend is not going to get rid of them.
Right. And I love Daisy. I've always loved Daisy.
She's
an outlier. She's got style.
Always the only
she's
adult in the room.
Yeah.
But even more so in this one, where you could tell she's really like maybe the least fond of Mickey.
Yes. One of the funniest bits in this whole series, which I was like, it's not subversive in a way where like a kid couldn't watch it.
No, my kids love this show.
It was such a grown-up joke where Daisy was like, I don't want to get there early. And then you see a cutaway where it's just her and Mickey alone at a party and like, how you doing? Good. How are you? How you doing? And they're just doing a joke about
just back and forth. How are you?
Yeah, they're in a friend group, but they don't talk to each other.
They don't talk, right? Like they're not
nothing
friends.
to say to each other.
So they don't hang out and they're just alone together. Like, oh no, what am I going to do?
The idea that Daisy doesn't want to get somewhere early so she won't be alone with Mickey is so funny.
It's so funny. Oh man.
Well,
we'll come back to it, but that's the thing with date night. Like
yes.
The Mickey horror we've always wanted to see. They give it to us.
I do want to talk a little bit about oh gosh, what's his name?
Goofy?
No, not Goofy.
Gorsh?
Chris Diamantopoulos.
Oh yes.
The voice of Mickey.
Yes.
Not the official voice of Mickey, because the other guy, what's his name? What's his name? There's another guy who does Mickey and other things, and he does Mickey
be like
in
Mickey
Mickey's,
at the parks and stuff, like the voice.
And Mickey, what's the other show? Mickey's Clubhouse. Or Mickey...
Okay, so the Clubhouse saga is its own kind of thing because they've had Clubhouse, Funhouse, Wacky and Mixed Up Adventures, and it's all like spin-offs or sequel series to Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And that's the classic like hi folks, like that voice, whereas the Wonderful World of Mickey Mouse is like a little more high-pitched, a little more like deranged. I don't know how to put it. He's a little more high-strung Mickey.
It has a certain je ne sais quoi. It really does, because
I love
it's a good impression
so
of Mickey.
Great. Yeah.
But it's not just you don't just get the optimism. You hear the anxiety.
You hear the strain in his voice.
He's not just a guy who's always positive. He's trying to always be positive.
Yes. Like he's overcoming whatever else he is feeling in order to stay positive, and in an almost like toxic positivity sort of way.
Right.
But not in a way that makes him a bad character. Like he's good. He is good through and through, but he is he's trying so hard. He's just trying so hard.
Yeah.
Like in the grocery store episode when he becomes the manager of the store somehow because he doesn't want to let anybody down.
Yeah.
That's him,
Yeah.
right? Like he has to be the manager.
The other guy's name is Brett Iwan.
Okay.
And I think he's quote unquote like the main Mickey.
Okay.
And
Christian Montopoulos is an actor. Like he's a handsome actor
he
guy.
played
He's
Mo
in a lot
the
of
Three Stooges.
Yes, he's in a lot of comedies.
Yeah, he's great.
He is great.
He brings a lot to the character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just you can it's almost like again it's self-reflexive. It's almost like a little bit of a parody of Mickey. It sounds like Mickey, but it's also kind of making fun of Mickey. But it's also not like it's not making fun of Mickey in like the edgelordy South Park way. It's doing jokes about a character that you know, but in a way that makes sense. Like if you had to say, well, if Mickey's not Mr. Perfect, right? If he's not Christ and he's just an actual person, what would his downsides be? I think this is the correct answer. It would be that he's trying really hard, that he's sort of like grin and bearing the world.
He wants everybody to like him.
He's such a people
cannot
pleaser.
take if someone doesn't like him. That's something else too. It's like it's not just that he wants to be liked. It's that he can't give up if someone doesn't like him to the point where he's hurting himself.
Yeah.
Like with the ghosts or with the evil queen.
Right. With the ghosts, which is well, we'll get into this later. There's so many cameos and references to Disney
throughout
history.
The whole series.
Some of these shorts are straight up sequels to classic shorts.
Yeah.
But this is the ghosts from the Lonesome Ghost cartoon, and in the beginning, their house is demolished and they're homeless, and Mickey genuinely is like, "Oh, they're homeless now." So then he invites them in, and they take advantage of him and turn his house into like the Haunted Mansion. It has the Haunted Mansion wallpaper. And Minnie's like, I have to help him.
Right, because he's never going to kick them out.
Right. And then he uses his toxic
Mick,
niceness.
We got something nice for you. And it's a grave.
Yeah.
He's like,
for later.
So
That's Roastmaster General Jeff Ross as the voice of the main ghost. And they're watching The Ring or whatever on TV.
They're watching The Ring, and then they're also watching a real Disney movie
with a weird
a scarecrow.
Yeah, what was that?
I had to look it up. So it's what were you gonna say, Bill? Because I'm gonna look up this scarecrow movie.
You guys were talking about the caricature of Mickey. It's like a Dean Martin roast of Mickey.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that's how he would be roasted. It's like, yeah, we're celebrating him, but here is his part.
Yeah.
So it's this 1963 Disney movie called Dr. Sin, alias The Scarecrow.
That is really spooky
which
looking.
is not a horror movie, but is one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Wow, that is really scary.
It is just this horrifying scarecrow, but he's sort of like a Zorro character.
Yeah. Oh,
And
wow.
he's in, I think, Scotland, I think he's in Scotland. And so he comes to like fight off the British or something to save the town of Romney Marsh from King George's oppression in 18th century England. Okay. Yeah. So, and he dresses as a scarecrow, which is terrifying.
I think we actually could go through these, not like actually narrating what they are, but we could touch.
Yeah, we could touch on it.
Episode 1 is Cheese Wranglers, and this is one of these episodes where
I think it's kind of an odd opener, honestly.
It's a very odd opener.
I like it.
I like the episodes that I like that there's no continuity. Like sometimes Minnie lives in a house, sometimes she lives in a high-rise apartment.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever the story needs. Mickey lives in an apartment built like kind of like a brownstone kind of thing.
But
in the
then
episode
he also
where
has
he's a
his
hoarder.
classic house as well, like his yellow house.
Yeah.
That you used to be able to go into in town, which I think still exists in Disneyland. I have to get there.
But then there was ones like this and the one about him as a squire where it's just them casting something.
Yeah.
So this is like the Wild West and he's a cheese wrangler.
Yeah.
Which is just it's a funny idea.
They ride on cheese wheels.
Yeah.
He can control the cheese by whistling and singing.
This show does that Ren and Stimpy thing where they'll cut to a close-up of something, but the close-up will be super detailed and like painted.
Hairs and like little
which wasn't there in the
pores and things that you don't normally
also
see.
Mickey will like make like very serious crazy faces
when his eyes get really tiny.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much.
Um,
When there's one episode he goes, wait, what?
Yes.
His eyes are super small.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So that's the first one, and then the second one is Carousel of Progress, right? Killer
House of
Future
Tomorrow.
House? Yeah.
Which was in this they call it what do they call it? They just call it like the House of the Future, but in reality it was called the Monsanto House of the Future.
Oh wow.
Because they were the ones who
the Monsanto soybean company.
Yeah, they were the ones who like I guess originally Walt had like big companies like sponsor rides.
Yes, I used to. My mom's all-time favorite Disney ride is the Delta Dream Flight.
Yeah,
in Epcot.
Yeah. This is fun
R.I.P.
too.
I never hear anyone talk about that one,
Yeah.
and like I've never found like any YouTube videos about it. So I would love for some Disney historian to do it.
There was some attraction in Epcot about like climate change that was like run by like Exxon or something really insidious that it was an oil company that was
and
behind
they're like,
this.
and if we just rub some oil on the atmosphere, everything's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Just great.
We'll clean some ducks and everything will be great.
You know.
I
always think about those those Dawn duck commercials. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, they had to just dirty a duck to film this.
Yeah.
They had to make a poor little duck dirty.
Yeah. Or they found it. Oh, that's such a
No, they're not going to the scene. They're like, here we are at the scene of an oil spill. Time to film
Maybe
our
they're
Dawn
CGI
commercials.
ducks.
Those are real ducks they made dirty.
One thing in the Cheese Wranglers, Pete's goons are the weasels from Roger Rabbit.
Yes. Yes. Very cool. There's just little details like that. If you're a big Disney head,
oh, I love it.
You will just be absolutely delighted by this series.
In House of Tomorrow, Mickey sings "It's a Great Big Beautiful
Yes,
Tomorrow."
and so does the house in a very messed up way.
The house is voiced by Alan Tudyk.
Oh, okay. He's a Disney all-timer as well.
That's another thing about this Mickey is he's very sing-songy. He's very like, "Oh, here we go."
Yeah,
like, "Oh, I'm coming to the party." Like he almost annoyingly sing-songy.
Yeah, he's excited about everything. He's like, "Can you not wait?"
Yeah.
The carousel for this Killer House episode is so great. The house is like jealous of Mickey for having Minnie, like having a relationship sort of like outside of the house.
Yeah.
And he's like, I was gonna go like paint a picture of Minnie or something, and he brings him to a room where he has painted truly, genuinely
Scary.
horrifying pictures of Mickey, of Minnie.
Yeah.
Really
very, very
scary
weird
paintings. And finally, Goofy like defeats the house by having too many needs. But the needs are so funny. The first one, he's like, I need a love-hate relationship. That's the first one.
That's amazing.
I need a love-hate relationship. At one point, he just shouts rock, reggae, a live-in nanny, pizza pasta, payday loan.
I love that in this series, they are like, Goofy is a dirtbag. He lives in like a shack in the swamp.
Yes.
What about the episode it's the next episode, Hard to Swallow, which is about trying to get Pluto to take his flea medicine.
Uh-huh.
The flea the flea on Pluto calls Goofy and asks to talk to his fleas, and then he like bends over and puts the phone near his butt, which is full of fleas, and then he talks to the fleas on Goofy's butt.
Is this the one where they also sort of reference like Goofy is also a dog?
Yes.
So why does he wear clothes and have a house and Pluto is someone's pet?
Right. It's not in this series, but in the former Mickey Mouse series, there was a short where the guys go to a restaurant and they have the sign that says "No shirt, no shoes, no service."
Yes, yeah,
and like one has a pants but no shirt, and one doesn't wear
yeah, because Donald wears a shirt and no pants and no shoes.
Mickey has pants and no shirt.
Pants and shoes, but no shirt,
right.
And Goofy is the only one who's fully dressed.
Yes, yeah.
And the girls are dressed.
Yeah,
as well.
I like Hard to Swallow. It's a funny idea.
Mm-hmm.
I like when
Minnie's like, "Oh, it's no problem at all to get my dog to do it," and
Fifi.
then Pluto tells the dog, like,
Yeah.
"No, that's medicine. We can have right there." And then Fifi wants
Yeah.
nothing to do with Minnie.
I love that Mickey and Minnie are still dating. They're not married. They don't live together.
Houses.
They live seperate lives.
It's very Woody
it's always
and
the honeymoon.
Mia, they live across the park.
It's the honeymoon. They're always in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
They still try and impress each other. I'd like
Well,
Pluto climbing up on the wall and then backing out of the room. I think that's a funny bit.
Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say about their relationship. Sometimes, there is one short where they're trying to do like a grand gesture for each other.
Yes.
And it's like, have they not said I love you to each other? But they have
Yeah.
so many times. But that episode is
They're
almost
just-
like they haven't.
They're still trying.
They are still trying.
They're
They
still
never stop
trying.
Yeah.
But what do we learn from it? No kids.
No kids.
Don't have kids. Going
Yeah.
back to politics for a second, way huge detour. I was talking to my cousin, Brendan. He's been on the show the day after the election.
Uh-huh.
And he very seriously was like, because we're talking about how the country's just going to shit and, the electorate is not in good shape.
It's broken.
And then he said, like, maybe us liberals need to start actually having kids. Like, maybe that's the problem.
I'm doing my part.
You are doing your part. But
And you're the Tim Robinson. I didn't do shit.
I didn't do shit. But I reminded him the reason liberals don't is because we think ahead about our finances and we don't just
the planet
get pregnant.
and
We don't just raw dog.
you take a look around and see what's going on. You're like, I don't know that I want to bring a child into this
Yeah.
mess.
Anyway,
No, you have to fight the dumb people having kids because then their dumb kids are just going to be dumb running around. We can't have that.
the next episode is called School of Fish.
Who will those kids bully if we don't have children?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
School of Fish.
This is a cute one.
But it's also like a flawed Mickey because his good intentions
Right.
turn him into an overbearing fish parent who embarrasses his little fish
Right.
child.
Did you see who the teacher was?
No.
It's Merlin in fish form from Sword of the Stone.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
That is really cute. It's so cute.
It's cute that it's like his first day of school. Because
The
it's
fish
just
school.
a joke of fish school.
Yeah.
And it's just Mickey. The joke is just Mickey is a dad who's constantly embarrassing him.
Yes, because he's overprotective.
Yeah.
That's the episode where Mickey goes, say what?
Yeah. Mickey's school memories. Every door is marked with a subject, has a different classical Disney reference. That's what he's thinking back to him in school. He's sort of an emotional weirdo.
Okay.
This Mickey.
Yeah.
He's emotionally unmoored, but not in a scary way. Like he just loves too much.
He loves so hard. He loves
so
he is,
hard.
His heart is on his sleeve completely.
Always, yeah. Episode 5 is called Keep On Rolling.
Oh, the Yen Sid roller rink.
Yes, this is so many references in this.
Yeah.
You've
Pete's
got
girlfriend
Ursula.
is Ursula.
Yeah.
Which
Who
is a great.
Comes in Vanessa form. And
Only
then
to unravel her body as Ursula.
the rest of his crew are the Beagle Boys from DuckTales.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy. It's
just a great,
fun.
Big, fun
I
70s
love
roller
when it's
disco.
I love when it's the 4 of them hanging out or the 5 of them hanging out because Goofy is a single dad. I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to think of them as like an actual friend group.
Yes,
They
with
don't
their
say
own
it.
politics
Yeah.
within the friend group.
They don't say it, but I read these characters as like early 20s,
Interesting.
early to mid 20s. They're definitely not like.
That's so funny to me because I don't, but I see how they could be.
How would you read them? Because I wouldn't say 30s because they go out too much.
They go out a lot, but what are they doing? Are they doing? I mean, they're doing athletic things, but again,
They
they're
go
animals.
camping. They do last minute barbecues. That's
Yeah.
like, I feel like they'll
It
get the more you
feels
pre-plan things.
Yeah, but they also just have so much history. I would put them in their 40s.
Wow.
Yeah. Because they have so much history. Like, if you're in your 20s, you haven't been doing game night for decades, right?
Yeah.
Like, you haven't been doing this stuff forever, whereas they feel like they have been, well, they have because they're in their 90s,
Yeah.
but
Right. It's like that Simpsons thing where your character's an age, but you also have with
so much history.
all the
right?
continuity that's
Yeah.
happened before.
That's them, right? So yes, they feel like they've just been a friend group for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because they have.
Yeah. 6 is the Big
Oh,
Good
the
Wolf.
this one this is freaky.
And this is a sequel to
The
the,
Big Bad Wolf,
1933 short, The Three Little Pigs,
Mhm.
which is not a Mickey short. It's just The Three Little
Yeah.
Pigs. Mickey says in this, I'll give him the old 1-2, a stern talking to and a loving hug.
Right, so he tries to rehabilitate the wolf.
Right.
And
of course, the wolf takes advantage of
Yes,
him.
and is eating every single person,
Yeah.
every single character that we love. So Minnie, Goofy, they're all down the hatch.
He quotes Walt Disney because someone says it's impossible to rehabilitate the wolf, and he goes, "It's kind of fun to do the impossible."
And by the end, the wolf is like grotesquely like
big because he's eating
big and
but they're all just
like,
alive in his
stuffed.
stomach.
Yeah, they're all talking. Well, just like the grandma, right? Like
Yes.
in Little Red Riding Hood, she's still alive in there.
Inside the stomach is like there's a shot inside the stomach, and we see like Dumbo and like various other just characters thrown in there. The skeletons from Skeleton Dance appear in a lot of episodes.
Yes,
they find a lot of ways to get them in there for a non-narrative short.
Yeah.
7 is the Brave Squire. I'm not a huge fan. I think it's cute medieval setting. I like the way that they brought back Mortimer.
Yes, Mortimer the Rat.
From
they also do this
Mickey's Rival,
this,
1936.
like Squire aesthetic a lot in the other like children, like the really, really little kid shows.
Yeah.
Like Clubhouse has one, Funhouse has a couple where they do this Squire character. So they really like to bring this one back.
There's a montage in this where you see Madame Mim, also from Sword in the Stone.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Oh, it opens like the classic fairy tale with the storybook,
yeah.
and Joanna Lumley is the narrator.
Oh, okay.
And she's great.
I like the bit of. I wrote down gags that I liked. When Mickey gets a light bulb over his head, it's a lantern.
I know that's a fun little touch.
Episode 8 is An Ordinary Date. You know, Minnie lives in a gorgeous high-rise apartment. At one point, Goofy flies through a billboard, which I think is a reference to his roller coaster.
Yeah, that it's the Barnstormer, which is is he a pilot? I mean, he does it all, right? He's the sports guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the one where he's a hoarder?
No, that one's much later on.
Okay.
Which one is this? I don't remember. I didn't write down like the plots of them. I wrote here, funny gag, musicians come.
Oh wait, is this the one where he gives her his heart? Or that's I Heart Mickey?
Yeah, that's later.
Okay.
All right. You know what? I don't remember. All right. 9 is called Supermarket Scramble.
I love this one so much.
This is a really fun one. It begins with a musical number called Beautiful Day, having fun with my friends. I sent you this before. The gag of Daisy in the car outside while they're in the supermarket, just grabbing
and she's like
stuff
in the
for a
fire
burger.
lane, right? Like right in front of the store.
And she's in a convertible, but when a cop comes up to her, she raises her window.
She's
and
like,
acts
I can't hear you. And then it's a slow, just.
And the cop's like, oh, he runs away. I like in this world of these particular shorts, there are no people. It's all anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah. So I wrote that this one encapsulates each of their characters.
Yes, I think
like
it's
whatever
really good.
is happening with them is like them in a nutshell.
Yes, I agree.
Like Donald is absolutely losing his mind because he can't open one of those plastic bags.
Yes.
In the grocery store,
which is a funny.
It's
like
a
funny
bit. Yeah, and then he becomes like electrified, which we just watched Ernest Goes to Jail, so that's also a bit in Ernest Goes to Jail where he keeps becoming electrified. I'm like, this is like something that really happens. So
that's amazing.
So funny. Goofy is trying to get seafood.
Right.
He ends up in the lobster tank for some reason.
Yeah. He's truly the Kramer.
He really, really is. I mean, he's got the height. He's got the attitude. He
says the N-word.
Well, he can. He's allowed. That's his word.
Okay. Do you really think Goofy's?
I think Goofy's black.
black-coded?
Absolutely, yes. I think he's black coded, and I think in a very racist way in the early, especially like in the early years.
I mean, going back really a lot, the Rubber Hose cartoons of the 30s, the caricatures come from what do you call it? Minstrelsy in vaudeville.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the white gloves thing, and Mickey being a trickster is like minstrelsy.
But I think Goofy, and I think animators have even talked about it, how that it has has racist origins. But I also read a few years back, I guess for like an anniversary of the Goofy movie, black culture writers talking about how they consider that a black movie and that a Goofy movie is like reads very black to them. Like Max is black, like that whole high school experience, like the whole thing of like talking about a gang, like being in a gang, that like
I think that's really cool.
That really spoke to them.
Yeah.
And like Powerline being the pop star.
Yes.
So like they really felt like that is of that era. And I absolutely love that read.
No, that's cool. I like how this is just made me think of it. In The last couple contemporary reinterpretations of Ninja Turtles, at least 2 of them are black.
Yes, yeah. And voiced
they
by
have
black actors or
yeah.
or a black and Latino actor, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that.
Episode 10 is called Just the Four of Us.
Sorry. I just want to say something about the supermarket one. Minnie. So anyway, Mickey is trying to help people in the store. Like he just is on his way to get something for the friend group. Yeah. And then along the way, he notices that somebody needs help. And then notices somebody else needs help. And then notices there's a spill. And then notices like so many different things in the store that could use a hand. And he decides like he's the only person who can do it. So then he has to fix everything in the store. Yeah. So then he becomes the manager.
Right. It is perfect Mickey.
And it has become perfect Mickey because... Well, so all this is happening. Then Minnie, there's a sale on hot dogs.
Yeah.
And she's there to get hot dogs. So everyone is, divide and conquer in the store. And that's like her role. And everyone starts rushing the hot dog area, which is the first song that they sing also. Yeah. All of Mickey is hot dog.
It's the first thing he says.
He says hot dog, dogs, right? So that's the hot dog song is like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song also for the little kids.
Yes.
But in any event, it becomes like Mad Max and everyone's fighting over the hot dogs and she's like at the top of the pile of people like savage. I also love when they draw them with like a ton of muscles because they do that a lot. And Minnie is like completely like ripped, shredded, like a gladiator, like fighting.
Yeah.
And Daisy, who is now being inundated with cars, comes into the store and is like, what is happening in here? Mickey, go get the thing you said you were going to get. Take off the shirt. Yeah. Go do the one thing you were asked to do. Not everything in the world. Yeah. Donald, she's like going to go save Donald. Yeah. Minnie's like, sorry, I'll be right there. Like she's fighting everybody in the store. Adult. And they leave without Goofy.
You could tell Daisy has a different friend group. Like she doesn't spend all her time with this friend group.
That's such a great point. Yes.
she has to.
Yes. She has another friend group. Which Minnie might be in because she and Minnie are besties.
These are my boyfriend's friends.
These are my boyfriend's friends. Yes. Absolutely. But she has her own friend
to hang
group.
out with. Minnie's not really my best friend, but he's my boyfriend's best friend's girlfriend.
Yes. So they hang out a lot.
I hang out with Minnie a lot.
They're business partners.
Episode 10, Just the Four of Us. This is the one where Donald and Daisy don't want to hang out with Mickey and Minnie. So they pretend to be sick, but then Mickey and Minnie are like, we're going to come over and take care of you. And it's played like a horror movie. Like they're like, oh my God, Mickey and Minnie are coming. Hide. You see the shadow of Mickey.
So, but like you were saying before, it is fine and appropriate for kids as long. It might be a little scary for like young kids, but it's such an adult conundrum. It's like, I don't want to hang out with them right now. Yeah. Like, I still love them, but like, I need a break.
We can't be with them.
We can't
There's so
double
much.
date.
Mickey and Minnie are so extra.
They're so extra.
And we're the main characters.
And they've, big time main character syndrome. And also like they show the dates that they go on and it's like skydiving and skiing and like all kinds of crazy stuff. They just want to
Which is why I say they're in their 20s.
Right. And Daisy's like, I just want to be with you.
Right.
What's going on? Do you have a
no?
Do you need to like tighten one of the chair legs or
no? I was
you were taking the rug.
Yeah, I was taking the rug up, but I didn't want that. I don't want to damage your rug.
And also, it has this adult thing of like the girlfriend or the wife or the husband, whoever on the other end of the phone. Yeah. As their significant other is talking to somebody else, and you're like, no, what are you saying? Like, shut up! Don't say that. Yeah. Because Donald's like, we're sick. And Daisy's like, no.
Because she knows that they're going to come over and try to take care of them. They're going to
come over now. And they do. They're like, Daisy. Like, stalking them. You only see them in silhouette.
Yeah. Yes.
Until the end.
It's hilarious.
Which is great. They do that thing where like the door is swinging and like he's at the other end of the room. And then he's like
that's so
close
funny.
to the door. And then he's in the room.
Right. That's
so he's
so
gone,
funny.
But then he's in the room.
To play Mickey as a menacing character is itself so like if Walter were alive, you'd be like, you could never do that. You could never do that.
Yeah.
Donald can't be afraid of Mickey.
They're terrified. They're like hiding in the closet. Oh, Daisy pretends to be one of the dolls. So Minnie's like, where are you, Daisy? Yeah. Let's have a tea party. Oh, right. So Daisy's sitting like dead-eyed, pretending to be a doll. You see like a bug land on her eyeball.
It's so good. There's also a bit
really
in this
great.
Where they find Goofy.
This is maybe my favorite one. It's such a great one.
It's really good. They find Goofy in the shower.
Yes.
And he's like, it's that time of year again, which means two things. Goofy's a dirtbag who showers once a year.
Yes.
And he doesn't have a shower, so he comes to your house.
He comes to Mickey's house. Or no, Donald's house. That's right.
Episode 11 is House Ghost. We talked about this before.
He's like, fine, I don't care. Just you didn't see me. He's like, I didn't. He's so stupid. Yes, house ghosts.
We talked about this before. I do like the ghost line where he goes, "What do you want? The shirt off my back? Too bad it's my skin, I think."
It's my skin, I think. I wrote Minnie is Mickey's backbone. Like she will stand up for him when he can't stand up for himself. Or she will motivate him to stand up for himself.
Yeah.
The dancing skeletons are in this.
Yeah.
The
you also
girl,
see
as you said.
At one point you see the floating instruments from Madame Leota's music room.
They're talking about the ghosts at bowling. They're at the bowling alley briefly in this one. Discussing like what's going on. So they're on their own date.
Yeah.
And I just wrote, she's so intense.
Right, when she gets when she throws the strike, she's like, yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
I like that for her. Like at the supermarket too, she was like a savage.
Yeah,
like,
I love that.
She was fighting everybody. I was like, there you go.
He needs someone like that.
He does. He needs someone to, you always have to have one in the relationship that's a little more like, come on, go do the thing. And that's her.
Yeah, he's not going to fight anybody. She's going to fight.
No, she's going to be the one.
I like the bit where he's like pretending things are okay, and he's like, everything's fine, and he opens the door to his house, and you hear like chainsaws and shit. And I mean that's an interesting thing too. Like in the thing in this is that Mickey won't admit to himself, that it's gone too far,
right?
And it ends with a tree being cut down and a bunch of feral raccoons are there, and he's like, "Oh, they're homeless. I'm gonna hug them." And she's like, "No, Mickey, don't."
No, I know another thing.
Yeah. You know what's interesting?
He's always in like a hell of his own making.
In the language of Disney Kana, right? I like that often lonesome ghosts are composited with the Haunted Mansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been playing, I beat it. Now I'm just trying to get everything 100 it out.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing Epic Mickey. Mm-hmm. It's called Epic Mickey Rebrushed because it's an whatever you call it, upscaled. I don't know what it is. It's the Switch version of a game that originally came out on Wii. And I think I sent you some pictures. Like there's a Haunted Mansion like kind of level, but it has like the lonesome ghosts in it, and it's like they're often put together, which I think is really interesting because it really creates. It's really its own like pop culture lexicon.
Yeah, there's Haunted Mansion, there's Lonesome Ghosts, there's Dancing Skeletons.
Yeah, and
those are all like the spooky things that they have.
And sometimes it's not like we just want a cameo. I mean, sometimes it is, but often the cameos are like, "Hey, we need a ghost. Do we have one in our vocabulary?
Yeah, who can we use?
Yeah. We like that's
whenever
really
there's a
interesting.
Halloween thing, like going back to the other special, it's the Trick or Treat Halloween, or if there's a witch, it's the Witch Hazel from those from that short.
The only character to be in both Disney
and Warner Brothers. Yes, voiced by the same person.
Yes, that's wild.
Totally different character design.
Right, but basically the same character.
Yeah, incredible. What's the next one? Tiki Room? Or
the Enchanted Hut, which is very tiki room.
Yeah,
I didn't like this one very much.
It's kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah.
I like it just fine. I like the tiki song.
We do see a bird that looks like Iago from Aladdin in it.
And that's the other thing. They'll just pull characters.
Right, because we need a bird. Do we have a bird? Yes, we have birds. We've done birds.
They used to do that all the time with House of Mouse.
Yes, I remember that, House of Mouse. Episode 13 is called Duet for Two.
Love it.
This is such a smart episode. This could be a movie.
It could have been a movie, yes.
The idea that they're singing and they become like pop stars.
Yes.
And,
they get discovered.
Right, by the Jason Mantzoukas voice character, Mr. McBackstabber.
Who is a snake.
A literal snake.
In a suit.
In a suit with no arms because he's
sunglasses.
A snake. And he's just being Jason Mantzoukas. I love it. I love seeing them as the Beatles.
Yes.
I love seeing them as Daft Punk.
Yes. They get bigger and bigger and bigger until he convinces them that they have to go solo.
Yes.
And then they're like in competing stadiums with sold out crowds.
And he introduces him as Mikey Mouse, which I think is funny.
Mikey Mouse. Yes. But also in that one, he goes on stage. She walks off.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not doing this without Mickey.
Yeah.
She stands up to him. And then at that point, he pretends to be Minnie. But then Mickey finally, it's kind of all over. But I love that story arc in movies and television.
Yeah.
Like I love seeing like the pop star rise to fame and then, coming back to the basics. Because then ultimately they're like walking in the rain and they end up back at the gazebo where they first started playing the piano, and they're just like they're back to each other.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a great one.
Episode 14 is bird watching. This one's kind of a stupid idea, but I think it's got funny gags in it.
It's got very funny gags.
Minnie is a bird watcher.
Yeah.
And they see this giant, like, I don't know what kind of bird it is, but it's giant.
It's like a giant eagle
and it picks
or
Mickey
hawk
up
or something.
Because it's colored like Mickey.
Yes.
And so it has babies that hatch.
Like
and
they're black with red and yellow on the bottom.
And she thinks Mickey's one of her babies and is and Minnie keeps trying to take him away, and the eagle keeps picking her up, take her to the ocean, and dropping her in.
Ocean, yeah.
But she won't stop trying to get Mickey back.
Yeah.
He, being Mickey, is just kind of going with it.
Yep.
He's eating the worms. It's so gross when you see baby birds them.
So gross. And he's like he's like round like a ball filled with worms.
When Minnie comes disguised as a worm,
he's like, no worms.
That is so good. Oh my God, this is such a funny gag. You see two cardinal birds and they're going, I bless you, bless you, bless you. It's just so funny. Like some of those like quick gags is like this is so funny. Episode 15 is called Bellboys.
This is a really fun one.
This feels like very like Three Stooges. Like
yes,
they all have a job together.
Yeah.
We hear the classic Goofy yelp. In this cartoon in particular, even if it's not Goofy, if somebody like falls off something, they always do the Goofy yelp.
So I love it. Yeah, this one, a circus comes to the hotel and then they have to like, hilarity ensues, right?
Right. Yeah. They only have bread for some reason.
Right.
So he's making other foods out of bread.
Yeah, they all want room service. Donald's trying to take the bags up. It weighs like 1,000 pounds. And when he finally gets to the top, he falls through all the floors with the bag. It's great.
Yeah,
it's all just great.
Yeah. It's fun. It's just fun shtick. Episode 16 is I Heart Mickey. This is
Heart Mickey.
This one, I hate to be a nitpicker, but it doesn't track. It doesn't make sense to me. Because Mickey like blows a kiss at her. But instead of looking like lips, it looks like a heart. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, I have your heart. But then that heart can make inanimate objects come to life.
Yeah, and who are then
track.
In love with Mickey.
Yeah, it doesn't really track. It's like the idea is there. It needed to be worked out to make more sense.
Yeah, and then Minnie's guilty that she missed the kiss, so she didn't get the heart. So now she's trying to retrieve the heart. And the heart also splits and goes into a lot of different things. One of which is an Iron Maiden. That's trying to kill them. Something
that's very different from these shorts and like classic Mickey shorts is that often things turn into utter chaos.
Yes.
Like a lot of these end with like everything's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember what causes him to do this, but at one point in this short, Goofy goes, "Whoa, I'm freaking out." Episode 17 is Untold Treasures.
This is the pirate one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they're both on the same pirate ship.
Yes, I like that.
The same goal.
I like them like not exactly on the same, because they both have, Mickey and Minnie have half of a treasure map.
Yeah.
So I like them kind of being a little bit at odds.
They were at odds in this one. Yeah, where they didn't trust each other. Or like he sneezed or something because he's like, come on, we'll go at the same time. So she trusts him and she starts to go, but he gets held back for some reason. Yeah. And she's like, you tricked me. I'm going to watch out for you from now on.
Yeah.
And I like them not really knowing each other.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. In that one.
Pete, who already has a peg leg, which would make sense, has a hook leg because he's dressed like Captain Hook.
Yeah.
He also sleeps in a bed that looks like the bed from Pirates of the Caribbean Ride with the skull on
the like the bow, like the front of it. Yeah.
No, on like the bedboard.
Okay.
Remember, like when you're going through, I forget what you're seeing, and you see like skeletons and stuff. I think at one point, I don't know if it's urban legend or not, like that was a real skull.
Oh.
Well, at least that's what they say. Episode 18 is Disappearing Act.
Oh, I liked that we saw all of the magical characters, like all of the magical Disney characters in this one, which is really fun. Like Merlin and was Madame Mim there as well? Like anyone who performs magic.
Oh, right. You saw who you saw. You saw Cinderella's godmother.
Yes.
Jiminy Cricket.
Yes. Oh, the blue fairy.
The blue fairy from Pinocchio, the 3 fairies from Sleeping Beauty, and Merlin from Sword and Stone. Yeah, I like that a lot. There's a bit in the beginning where they're watching a magic show.
Of course he loves magic. Of course Mickey loves magic.
And he wants to be a magician after seeing one show.
Mm-hmm. But he's always wanted to be a magician.
You see the magician doing a trick with someone in the audience. He's like, "Is this your card?" And he's like, "No, that's my wife." And then the wife rips her face off, and she's a card.
Oh, great bit.
Mickey's a fool who's easily taken. So like, he's like, "Oh, you want to be a magician? You just have to buy all this shit," and he buys it all.
Yeah. And then it turns out he's really magical, right?
Right.
Like he made Minnie disappear, and
he makes her into a little bunny, which is very cute.
Yes. But then she disappears and he has to like go into another dimension to like get her out. And the thing that I was like, oh my God, this is wild. I know that there were a lot of different types of Magic Eye books out there, like in the 90s or like the early 90s, but like I only had a Disney one. So like the pages looked like the Magic Eye that I used to have. And I was like, this is wild. I'm wondering, like, is this an intentional reference?
Do you see those on Instagram?
No.
I see them a lot. I'm in that corner of Instagram. I see a lot of them.
Oh, wow.
It works on your phone.
You know, I could never see them.
Really?
Ever. I was one of those people where I was like,
I couldn't. I can now.
And I don't know if it's just because I had bad vision and I wasn't sure if I was wearing glasses yet, but I could never see them.
Really?
Yeah. And I've like very bad eyes. Like I've had like retinal tears and stuff. So like I don't know if it's just my eyes don't work right, but I don't have magic eyes.
Don't see magic,
unfortunately,
that's really sad because your heart doesn't see it either.
No. But you know, I don't have to see it because believing is seeing.
That's absolutely right.
Bill just looked over like, wow.
This is a huge stretch. But Mickey and Minnie at one point are in a cafe that reminded me of Van Gogh's Night Cafe.
Oh,
might be a stretch.
With like yellow against blue.
Yeah. I do like all the magical. Again, it's like, who do we have in our lexicon, in our vocabulary? It's magic. We have all these magic. We have multiple fairies.
Yeah.
Episode 19, Once Upon an Apple.
This
is a very weird one.
Probably my favorite.
It's such a weird concept that it's like Snow White, but also Mickey's in it.
Yes. It's almost, because she's on a city sidewalk crossing a street to get to Snow White's house, which is so bizarre. So, okay. So, first of all, it opens with Feelin' the Love.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely fantastic song that Chris Diamantopoulos is. Bill is like, I would love to watch him in the recording booth recording this song because he is fully screaming at the top of his lungs throughout most of this song. I feel like he popped a vein doing this song.
We see in the beginning Mr. Toad, Cinderella, and the Cheshire Cat.
Yes, and he's helping all of them have a better day.
Yes.
So it's funny to me because it's almost like Disney World. Right? Like he lives at Disney World.
Yes.
Like this is Disney World, the universe of Disney World. Like if it were an actual place and not a theme park where everybody lived together.
Yes, that's so true.
It. So he has access to everybody because he is, he's King Mickey. So he's going around, and not that he's literally a king because we will encounter the evil queen who's allowed to live as she lives in the castle.
Yes.
And she's going about her daily. It feels a lot like Groundhog Day, right?
Yes.
Because
there's a logical inconsistency here for me, which is she dies and keeps coming back.
Yes, which means that okay, so this is like we're going to talk about this for roughly 45 minutes because there's so much to say. Which means, like, in the universe of this show, in which all the Disney characters live together, she goes about her narrative of her movie every day.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Where she dies at the end of that movie.
But then wakes up.
And then wakes up the next day and does it all over again.
So she's in Groundhog Day and no one else is.
Basically, yeah, because Mickey continues to have different adventures, but she just has that one story.
It's bizarre.
Isn't that strange? And she always wakes up as the old version. She never wakes up as the queen.
But it's interesting. It's like it's not very set up because she dies and then you see her wake up, and I was like, "Oh, was that a dream?"
Right.
And also, for some reason, I don't know why.
It's very Looney Tunes.
The background. Yes, that's true. It's very like Roadrunner or something. For some reason, in this short, the backgrounds are even more sort of transparent and watercolory than usual. So I was like, "Is this a dream?" I don't
Is
know
like
why.
this whole thing a dream?
Yeah, is it her dream? Is it his dream?
So
She keeps trying to get Mickey to eat the apple.
yeah,
I forget-
because
right.
the reason why is because they run into each other on a street corner, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, let me help you across the street," and she's like, "No, leave me alone."
Right.
And his heart, you see his heart inside of his chest, like look like it was just been punched in the face.
Yeah.
Like, oh. So, just to get him to shut up and go away, she gives him an apple.
Yes.
And he is like, "Oh, thank you so much." And then he bakes her a pie with the apple.
Of course.
Brings it back and is like, "Here you go. I made you a pie." So she takes a bite and dies
Right.
from the pie.
Right.
So now
Mickey's in her way.
yes.
So she's gonna leave Snow White for a bit and focus on murdering
yes.
Mickey Mouse.
Well, she keeps trying to murder Snow White, but Mickey
Yeah.
keeps running into her.
right.
And
yes.
trying to help her
Yes.
and accidentally killing her every single day. And then she's finally like, "I have to get rid of this mouse because otherwise I will never have peace in my
Right.
life." So now she's deliberately trying to get him. My favorite is she has the apple because she keeps trying to kill him with an
Yeah.
apple. She has the apple in her hand and she throws it over her shoulder and just tries to push him off a bridge.
Yes.
Just runs at him full speed.
I love the magic mirror wearing Mickey ears
Mhm.
and singing the Mickey
Who's the
Mouse
leader
Club.
of the- yeah.
At one point she's dressed as Snow White.
At the end.
You hear in the background, "Dream is a dream is a wish a heart makes."
Mhm. Oh, well, so after he's killed her, I mean, so many times, she's like, "Leave me alone." Like, she's crying. She's like, "I hate you," which is so wild in a Disney thing to hear somebody say, "I hate you" to
Yeah.
Mickey Mouse, which is crazy. And he realizes that he can help her by making her beautiful, or like she's only ever wanted to be beautiful, the
Yeah.
fairest of them all, and like she can't.
Yeah.
So he gives her this makeover, and you see her dressed, like you see her from the feet up, like dressed as Snow White, and
Yeah.
then she just has the same old crone head.
Yes.
And
Yeah. That was...
the magic mirror is like, "It's so beautiful," and crying. And then like all the woodland creatures come to her, but
Yeah.
instead of like birds and deer, it's like rabid dogs and raccoons and rats. And then that horse that she gets on at the end to ride away into the sunset. I've never gotten over that horse. This is my kid's favorite episode also. Like we watch it
I don't
all
remember
the time.
I don't remember the gag.
I gotta show you the horse. It's like a derp face horse.
They're very good with that stuff. Like in
Oh,
the
God.
fall special, the statue of Mickey's ancestor, who's
Yes.
like who's like shrugging like I'm a complete loser, is
Yes.
so funny.
Oh my God. Wait, I have to show you the horse. Okay. This is the horse that she gets on. It's so funny. The horse is like wall-eyed. So it's got like an eye going in each direction. Its
so
front
funny.
teeth are completely out. It has like a mop of hair on its
Yeah,
head.
It's so funny.
And it's short, like short-legged. It's very broad. It is the world's ugliest horse. And Mickey puts her on the horse like she's a princess.
I love that Mickey's so
I want a
kind
tattoo
and he
of
doesn't.
this horse.
I know. Just that whole image of the
This
Snow
image
White
of
body with the
her
crone
on,
face.
on the horse. I want that somewhere.
But Mickey doesn't even read that she's a villain.
no,
He's so
and this dog that
positive.
she attracts, like, and all these skunks and rats, and it's so
I love it.
funny. Oh God. And then, of course, the end, like the little bow on the end of this whole episode is that she says, "Thank you, Mickey. You've made me so happy." And he is so overwhelmed
Yeah.
that his heart explodes and Mickey dies at the end of this episode. She finally killed him
Right.
with kindness.
Fantastic.
Oh God.
That's a really good one.
It's so funny.
The last one, episode 20 of the original run here, is Game Night.
Game night.
They kind of play a life-size Candyland, but then there are
Yeah.
also like other challenges. You see them like play Wipeout
Yeah.
and Tetris and
Yeah.
American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Um,
Like shoots and ladders. They have one where they have to fit like a shape. Like their body has to fit a shape.
That's
coming-
Wipeout.
Oh, that is Wipeout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was like a TV show. It was like a game show on NBC.
Okay.
I like
and Mickey and Donald keeps getting pied.
Donald. fantasizing about Mickey losing, and then like he's fantasizing of himself as
It's
Steamboat
like
Willie.
Donald, and it's like, and then you hear Walt Disney's narration. It's like, don't forget that this all began with a duck.
Yeah, he sees like the statue of Walt with Mickey,
holding.
but it's Donald Duck. But for some reason, Walt also has a duck face. It's so
Donald. It's like that dream
Yeah.
song.
funny. It's so funny.
But then so like they have to win the game for it to stop.
Right.
And he hears Goofy going like, Mickey always wins. And it's like playing in a loop, driving him insane. But he makes the ultimate sacrifice, and you just see him. I think it's supposed to be a Lord of the Rings reference.
Oh, interesting.
Because everything goes quiet, and Donald like jumps and is like, you go finish it. I'll sacrifice myself. And you just see him, and it's like all quiet, and you hear like a lone voice singing, like. And then he's like kind of flying through the air with his arms out to the side, like all these pies are flying at him, like he's gonna get taken out. And then it's just like one pie hits him, and
That's so funny.
he's like a rag doll. Oh, it's a really good one. And they're all sort of like also on the way to the house.
Yeah.
Even Minnie. They're like, oh, what's this game night gonna be? Like,
Right, he's so exhausting.
Yeah.
Mickey is exhausting.
And then they're excited by this concept, like, oh wow, it's a life-size game. That's so cool. But by the end of it, they're like, we don't ever want to do this again.
Yeah. Yeah. And would you say Donald in this is so hard to understand?
Yeah.
I really needed subtitles for Donald.
Yeah. Well, okay, so in the previous series, in the Halloween special, Mickey tries to tell a story, and then Donald's like, hold on, I'll do it. I'm going to tell a really scary one. He starts talking, and the kids are like, we don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, I like when they go ahead and make him like almost impossible to
Yeah.
understand.
I find him really hard to understand in this one. Yeah.
So that's it for the 20 shorts in this run.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did 4 specials for different seasons.
Yeah.
Much like the Gilmore Girls. And these are like 24 minutes each. These
Yeah.
are longer. And then what's interesting is they kind of like change streams midway. The first 2, winter and spring, are kind of
3
anthologies.
stories? Yeah.
And then the second 2
Summer and
are kind
autumn.
of just like one story.
Yeah.
So the first one is Winter. It's narrated by Antonia Thompson, who's been on The Good Doctor. She was also the narrator on Teletubbies.
Oh, weird.
The narrator introduces all 3 segments.
Mm-hmm.
So one is Mickey is like, it's a very magical, like in a winter wonderland in the sky, which
Yeah.
looks like,
It looks like Small World.
yeah,
It's a
Mary
Small
Blair,
World.
the artist Mary Blair's
Yeah.
like style.
Like at the end when it's all white
yeah.
and gold, like that's what it looks like up there.
And it's like how they make snow and stuff, and he
I
fucks
love
it up.
this one. This is like the most anxious that he gets, right? Like he's flipping out because he's like a janitor, or
Yes.
he's like a custodian up there, and
Craig Robinson is his boss.
it's his boss who looks just like Goofy.
Yeah.
At
what point?
and all he wants is to design a snowflake.
Mickey says to his boss, aye, Captain. He goes, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, in the roller rink one.
Yeah.
They're basically like, they got kicked out of the roller rink by this like gang of bullies,
Yeah.
and they keep going to different places to try to find out like where they're going to do their roller dance. And they've gone to like 4 or 5 different places, and then they get to like the boardwalk, and Mickey's like, here, you want to do it here? Just do it here. It's so funny. But anyway, so in this one, it's a very sort of Sorcerer's Apprentice, where
Yes, it is. Yes.
he basically, he's not supposed to make snowflakes, but he really wants to make a snowflake, and then it turns into this like gigantic ball of ice that's going to murder anybody.
And there's
that
a
it
parade
falls
of
on.
babies.
I laughed so hard. So he's he's trying to like destroy this gigantic ice ball before it falls on the earth, and he's like, well, maybe it won't be that bad. And then he looks, and it's like a park full of people, lovers kissing, and then you hear a voice go, make way for the baby parade. And then it's just a baby parade, and then there's like a truck pulls up, and it's full of like puppies or something.
It's so
and
good.
the mayor shows up, and it's like, everybody in this park won the lottery.
It's so good. It's so good. Then the next like little bit is Mickey, Donald, and Goofy on vacation.
Yeah, they go skiing.
They're like snowed in a cabin. That looks like the cabin from Evil Dead.
Yes, and it has the talking animals
Yes.
on the wall like
It
Evil
talks
Dead.
it talks to Goofy.
Also, did you notice in the scene, because they're trapped in the cabin and they don't have food,
Yeah.
the thing he takes out is a can of beans, but there's only one bean in it, and
Yeah.
it's like fun and fancy free.
Yes.
I was like, oh, it's the one bean.
Goofy's losing it, and at
Yeah.
one point he thinks he's putting on, he's putting on a fur coat, and then when you see the other guys, they're like, what are you doing? And he's just covered in like rats and opossums.
Yeah, he's lost his
Yeah,
mind
it's
completely.
good.
They get away by like using, I don't know, they just panic so much that they're able to move the house out.
They
But then
create I think they create an avalanche
they
or
create
something.
an avalanche. The house skis.
Yeah.
Like they ski the house down. And then I love it too because they're running away. The avalanche is like sentient, so it can follow them.
Of course.
And so they're like, how are we gonna get away? And there's a half pipe coming up, and they're like, Goofy, hit the half pipe. And I'm like, yes, it's like his classic Goofy Sports skiing
Oh well,
video.
they do that a lot in summer.
Oh yeah.
Like they
Yes.
really get into that. Yeah, it's good. And then I should say these ones, I don't find them, well, now that we're talking, I'm realizing they're pretty funny, but I don't find them particularly like great, but they're aesthetically really pleasing.
Mm-hmm.
Like they really dig into the aesthetics of winter and fall. So
Mhm.
like it's really, really kind of pleasant. Like next year when I watch the scariest story ever told, I'm gonna like watch the fall one,
The autumn, yeah,
as-
right
the
along
autumn
with
one
it.
as well.
Like this year, I wanted to Duck the Halls. I highly recommend it. Just along with all the other Christmas shorts that you can do for Disney,
Right.
Like for instance, the
one with Pluto and the
tree with the
with the
chipmunks. Which,
chipmunks.
by the way, Mickey strangles Pluto in that short,
Really?
and that's like a more recent short. That's not like from the 40s.
It's like the
when you could
60s
beat
or
a dog
whatever.
and everyone was happy about it. No, yeah, it's a more recent one. He
Yeah.
fully strangles the dog.
Well,
And it's like
Homer Simpson was
nasty at some
strangling
point.
Bart.
That's a Mickey we have not seen, and I hope we don't see him again.
You know, it's funny you say that because some people are upset that I think Minnie in Runaway. Is it called? What's it called? Runaway Railway. Runaway.
Mickey's Runaway Railway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
At one in that ride, Minnie like kicks Goofy into the kicks Pluto into the trunk or something.
She does?
Yeah, something like that. Some people are like, I don't like that.
You used to be able to kick a dog in the ass and
Yeah.
everyone would be happy about it.
The third story, everyone's skating, and this is very much, I think, a reference to an old classic Mickey where like they're ice skating,
Okay.
and you see that image in like cards and shirts and stuff.
All of these are referential on so many levels, and it's not just like when I was talking about the Magic Eye, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a series of books they published, right?
Yeah.
Or like this one, the Mousecapades. Mousecapades is like such a big thing. Like
Yes.
Disney on Ice still goes on.
Right. I didn't even
And-
think of that.
It's like it's referential to the parks. It's referential to these live shows. It's referential
Right.
to so many aspects of Disney.
Thumper from Bambi's in it, and it's
Yeah.
because they were like, we need a bunny here.
Like who's on the ice?
Who do we have
Yeah.
that's a bunny? We
But-
have
yeah.
Thumper. So it's really like they're casting.
Yeah, but also
These
Thumper
people.
has that scene on the ice in Bambi, so he's also like
Right.
he's on the ice as well.
Chippendale Zamboni, I think is a funny bit.
But it's another
Or the little bulldog
the
girl who's a
bulldog
fan.
girl. Yes,
of
and Mickey,
Mickey and
is
Minnie.
such a people pleaser, and
Yeah.
he's like, "We're gonna let her down. We have to keep going."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his body is breaking down, and so is Minnie's to perform this ice show and do it bigger and better. And
Yeah.
keep going.
Um.
It also kind of reminded me of Fantasmic for some reason. There's
Yeah.
fireworks and like the
Oh, yeah,
way
yeah,
the seats
yeah.
are set up where the audience is.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely the Mousecapades, certainly.
That's really interesting. And I should say these are made in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And they came out seasonally.
One of the things that Mickey shouts when he's making the snowflake is "Eleganza." It's like, yes, wonderful, Mickey.
You want to move on to the Wonderful Spring of Mickey Mouse?
Yeah. So I this is the one I realized that I hadn't really watched, or like I thought I watched, but maybe I put it on for the kids and like left because I didn't remember any of it.
Did you remember that it was narrated by Keith?
Oh, excuse me.
It's narrated by Keith David.
Oh, I didn't, but then I heard his voice. He's unmistakable.
Like that's Keith David. there's a windmill in it, which is an
It's the
homage
windmill,
to the
yeah.
old mill, the Silly Symphony.
That's right. And they do the visual of like the wheel, like
Yes.
practically breaking with the rope. It's like that same shot.
I think the first part is actually really cute, and a lot of this series in general is more funny than cute. But them as all like
little crops.
Yeah,
right?
like
Daisy's a flower, of course, and then I think Minnie's a strawberry, or is she also a flower? She's red. She's got like a red thing.
Yeah,
Donald
Goofy's
is
a
grapes.
he's a
caterpillar.
He's a caterpillar. Donald is grapes.
He's grapes.
Right, because sour grapes.
Yeah.
Which
It's
it's
also
such a cute
makes
idea.
him look ripped.
Yeah,
And
right.
then Mickey he's just a little green plant? Is he?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
The sun is Dopey's face.
Dopey. Yeah. Yeah, Dopey is the son.
Yeah, it's very cute. It's super
He
cute.
sort of
and
looks
it's
like
very
the
high
Teletubbies
concept.
baby, which I
Yes, he does.
if she has narrated the
Yeah,
series,
the last
right,
one.
I feel
Yeah.
like that has to be at
Yes.
least a little bit intentional.
Yeah. It's such a fun high concept. Like it's more a high concept than they even have gone before.
It feels
like
Fantasia-esque.
their fruit.
Their fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like all the flower things in Fantasia. It feels like
Yeah.
There's also that one where like the Pegasus and the centaurs are
Yes,
like running
yes,
away
yes,
from a
yes.
storm. It feels like that as well because they're little flowers in a garden and then they have to escape a storm and
Yeah.
because Dopey's son is drumming. He's always a drummer.
Yes.
He's got big drummer energy.
They all at the end they bloom.
Mhm.
Goofy becomes a butterfly, but Donald turns into raisins and then has like a weird, creepy, like tiny body.
Oh God,
Donald.
I know.
The second one didn't really work for me.
It's like allergies.
Yeah, it's like
gardening
they're
and
all
allergies.
like gardening and like it's like
Because-
nothing's holding it together that much. Really.
No, that one I felt kind of weak, but it also just emphasizes like Mickey and Minnie together are very extra,
Yes.
and they're to like sometimes the detriment of their friends, right?
Yes.
So like it starts with them planting, and they
Yeah.
want to plant like the biggest garden, the best garden, and
Yeah.
it's causing like Goofy to practically die from allergies. What is their cave in his backyard?
Goofy.
Yeah, he's got a cave.
Yeah, he's like a
In this one, he lives next door to them, so
he's like a subhuman. He's like
or does he live? Because Henry was like, "Oh, he's got a cave in his backyard." I'm like, or does he live in the cave?
I think he lives in the cave.
I don't know. I don't know what that was. That was
Well,
visually
it's
very
also there for
weird.
it's also there because there's a bit where he hibernates with bears.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's springtime and the bear comes out and he comes out and he's like, oh, all right,
Oh my God,
for whatever reason.
completely unrelated. I'm sure you could cut this, but we were playing like. So my stepsister brings games to Thanksgiving, and they're like fun games, not like board games. They're just like a game to play.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out things. And her husband, John, was looking at his phone, and we're like, "Are you looking up answers in his phone?" He goes, "No, I'm actually just looking at a bear looking in a mirror." I was like, and he's been looking at that all night.
That's incredible. I'm not cutting that out. That's incredible. We see Tigger at some point.
Yeah,
here.
Tigger but for no
He just
reason,
bounces
he just
around.
bounces past the screen.
What about? I like the third one in this. I think is really good, and I think could have been its own short. It's Mickey's a hoarder,
Yes.
and
I loved this.
Minnie's trying to get him to throw stuff
I mean,
out.
talk about references.
Oh, it's just so many
It's
references.
just chock full.
And I love one of the things he won't throw out is his first churro, which is a churro from Disney.
Yeah.
From Disney World or Disneyland, which they famously have churros with the chocolate dip.
Mhm.
And he's a little fat kid in his memory.
Yes. He references, he's like, not Splash Dance. It's the 1983 Mickey Mouse album Splash Dance, in which, and they include the real album cover. It's like a photo-realistic album
incredible.
that's on the episode. And it was like he recorded pop hits.
I didn't know that one.
And he says, not Splash Dance, and they show the album. Again, it's like all these amazing references.
Wow.
When she's like, maybe you need to go sit down. And he sits on one of the Skyway gondolas.
Yes.
Oh,
We
it's
also
so
see
good. A lot of ghosts, right? Like him as the little. What's that short with him with like a flower in his hat? They show that a lot.
with him
He's got like a crosshatch hat with a little sunflower.
I forget
in
exactly. I don't know if it's just one. That might be Mickey's birthday.
It. Okay.
That's very
But like the Sorcerer's Apprentice
50s Mickey, where he's very human-like. And there's also other references. You see a Grogu doll and, an R2-D2.
Yes.
You see 3. I don't know why there's 3. Dick Van Dykes from Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Like on a roof.
Yeah.
It's out of control, the references. The kitchenware from Beauty and the Beast, a Kermit the Frog doll, the Yeti from Expedition Everest.
Yes, he comes to pick up something because she finally convinces him to get rid of not to get rid of his memories, but to give them to other people.
So he does a yard sale.
Yeah.
And the Yeti comes to buy something.
Yeah.
And also for sale is the R2-D2
but I actually
ripoff
saw it
from
as the Yeti from the Matterhorn from Disneyland.
Oh, okay. You also see that R2-D2 ripoff from the Black Hole.
Oh.
The Disney Black Hole drama live action film.
Oh my God.
From the 70s, which was like, it's kind of a cult hit now.
Oh, I've never seen it. I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Much like Dr. Sin, a.k.a. the Scarecrow of whatever.
I can't wait to see that
horrible
now.
thing.
But I'm sure that's not on Disney Plus. I wish they would
It
just
probably
really put
wouldn't
everything.
be, right?
Okay, so the next one is The Wonderful Summer of Mickey.
Oh, I love this one. This is like Rashomon.
Yes, this one. Yeah, it's really good.
So, okay, so we are shown that they have destroyed the annual fireworks extravaganza barge.
Yeah.
And we're shown like the last couple of seconds before this catastrophic accident happens, where Mickey is like driving a speedboat full speed into it, and like you see a yacht flying in the background and helicopters and like jet skis and all kinds of stuff. And then you get the story from each of their perspectives.
Yes.
Like what has happened.
And it really pays off because like at one point Daisy's car was on fire. You don't know why.
You don't know why. She comes out of the house and her car's destroyed. You have no clue why.
Right. Because Donald made and this is the one that has a joke about them going to the party early, because it begins with them, Mickey being like, we always don't have a good spot every year. Let's go there early and do it. And Mickey, of course, is extra sort of like, okay, we got to get there on time. So it's all of them rushing to get there. We see Scrooge McDuck in this one.
Yes. And Bill said it really suggests a lot about his lifestyle.
Yes. Hey, listen.
He's basically a swinger on a yacht, and good for him.
I mean, why not?
He has like a very muscular guy in a Speedo and like a classic sort of bikini clad lady by his side at all times. Like he's always with those two. He's sitting with them to dinner. And there's other people on the boat, but those are his two mains. Yeah. And, he's hanging out.
But the pre-established relationships are there because he knows Daisy.
He knows
like, Daisy, come on.
I know. I love that.
Oh, there's a bit where Minnie's making a pie, and it's the birds and animals from Cinderella that help her make the dress, and then she's like, "Get out of here!"
Yeah, she's bringing like way too much stuff.
The classic bit, her car is weighed down because she's bringing too much stuff, and this is just a classic cartoon bit. A snail passes her and goes, "Move it, slowpoke." Come on.
The pile is so high that Donald almost flies into it with his helicopter. Or does fly into it. He built his own helicopter, and he's like, look, I didn't even need to use all the parts, which is great.
Yeah. I also like Rashomon, like the phone call at the beginning is different from different perspectives. Like Mickey's kind of a screw up in Donald's telling.
He's like, well, I always mess up. So.
And in Goofy's telling, everyone's just like blah 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 because he can't follow conversation.
Also, Goofy's really like sort of mean and critical in Daisy's.
Yeah. What's that about?
Like, don't be late, and Goofy's like, yeah, Daisy, don't be late. So weird.
It's so funny.
She's like, I'm not going to be late. They never let me live it down when I was 20 seconds late to Mickey's birthday party, and everyone's there. Yes. She walks in, and he's just staring at her, like tapping his watch.
Yeah. And then
he was like doing a magic trick.
The ones, I don't want to be early.
That's the I don't want to be early part. Yeah. It's like, it's so good. They all oversleep. Like, Mickey's in his boat at 2 a.m. And he's like, I got the best spot. And then wakes up, realizes he fell asleep in the boat. So now he has to move. Goofy lives in front of the fireworks barge. Or at least woke up in front of the fireworks barge. So he's like, I have a whole day to be free. I'm already where I need to be. Which begs the question, why don't they just go to Goofy's for the fireworks?
Right. And is this where his segment is narrated like his sports shorts, right?
Is it? He wants to have fun. What's more fun? He's looking for fun.
Is he the one with the jet ski?
Yeah, he's the jet ski one.
Yeah, because it's narrated by.
But so he gets like 1 million jet skis.
Yeah. In the end, they work together to like fix what they screwed up.
Yeah,
and
which is mustard and ketchup
as fireworks.
And they hand everybody hot dogs.
Yeah.
It always comes back to hot dogs.
Yeah. The last one.
I felt like the end credits. I was telling them, I was like, oh, this is like very Gravity Falls coded.
Yeah.
It's like all the photographs, which is how Gravity Falls ended. And even the environment, like they could have done it at a beach, but they didn't. They did it at like a lake.
Yeah.
Like a lot, it's like a lot of pine trees.
Yeah.
So I wonder.
That would have been, I would have blown my top if they had brought in someone from there. Why not?
Why not?
Why is there no Gravity Falls representation in the parks?
I wish. I know.
There
was a dipper at
There was?
No. There was a dipper at Trunk or Treat this year.
Oh, okay.
I
That's
was
cute.
very happy.
The last one, The Wonderful Autumn of Mickey Mouse.
I like this one.
This one's good. It's just one story.
I love when he gets sassy. They're all driving in his convertible, and they're on their way because he inherited like an estate.
Yeah.
And he's like, he turns around and he has sunglasses on. He's like, and I don't know if you heard, but I inherited an estate.
Yeah. They drive through this beautiful little town with all this foliage. For some reason, Ichabod Crane.
Yeah,
is there.
sure. It's the quintessential fall town.
Yeah.
And with the woman with the short hair who's like frantically dancing with him at the at the Van Tassel's holiday party. Yeah, she's there with him.
The big lady.
They ended up together. Well, the boys are like, it's the crazy lady.
Yeah.
Which she really is.
There's a great exchange here. Mickey goes, I love fresh air. It makes me happy. And Donald goes, what doesn't make you happy?
They really had it with him.
Which is so funny.
So he discovers... He's like on cloud 9. He sees the estate up at the top of the hill.
This is just a funny idea.
The town is like so adorable.
Right. But then he finds out
Yeah.
his ancestor who gave him estate was the worst farmer of all time.
To the point where they commemorated him in statue form.
Which is such a funny statue.
It's so funny. He's got like big old teeth. His eyes are like going every which way.
His eyes are going in crazy directions. He's like shrugging.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
He's got a literal dunce cap on his head.
It's so funny.
And then there's also that subplot of Minnie and Daisy, where they're trying to get maple syrup. And
right, because Daisy refuses.
Yes, you see her shaking in the backseat.
Yeah.
She's like, Minnie's like, maybe they have maple syrup at the Harvest Festival, because you know how Daisy feels about store-bought syrup.
Yeah.
And she's like, like growling in the back.
Yeah.
But then it's a skunk selling the maple syrup.
Yes.
And he's like, and I like wipe my scent on every single one. And Minnie tries it and is like, oh God.
Yeah.
And then the other guy selling maple syrup is a fly. And Daisy doesn't even hear what he has to say. She just like, nope, and walks away. Like, no way.
It's so funny.
So they decide they're gonna get into the maple syrup business. And in the meantime, our trio of guys decide they're going to grow the best, biggest pumpkins that ever were.
Use a growth tonic that Donald has.
That Donald
which is like this green liquid.
Yeah, and it feels this is like a Simpsons did it, right? Like it feels like Tamaco.
I don't remember that.
Okay, so Tamaco is this crop that Homer grows. That it looks like a tomato on the outside. When you bite into it, it's brown and it's addictive like a cigarette.
Okay.
So people want to eat it, and it's crazy. But they do this like glowing green serum that he gets like partially from the power plant and partially from Grandpa Simpson, and like they like do the same thing. They saturate the field in it, and it grows all these tomatoes. So that's what happens in this episode. It's pumpkins, and they're like, of course, monstrous pumpkins that could eat you.
Right. Yeah, it gets huge.
Yeah.
At one point, Mickey says, let's give him pumpkin to talk about. Which is really funny.
Ultimately, he has to.
Also, and then the girls, they flood the whole town with maple syrup.
So it's one of those things where like everybody is anxious about it. So they're all sneaking out at night and they're all like watering the field. And then the girls are also going secretly
and tapping
into the woods and like, putting more taps in the trees.
Yeah. It's a good one. I like that it's one story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
and it's beautiful. It's beautiful fall, vibes.
it is very pretty. And Mickey has to fight a giant pumpkin. Like he has to grow giant to
right
fight the pumpkin.
It's a weird. Yeah, the ending gets crazy.
But then everything's happy again because like he ultimately defeats them, and then the pumpkins grow everywhere, and then they have their own little maple syrup business. But he's still giant, and he's like, "When's this stuff gonna wear off?"
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one. Yeah, it was. It's an interesting idea. This idea of doing like 4 specials that are a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, and it's also they've done holidays before, but like doing it as seasons is really interesting.
You can focus on other aspects, and you're not limited by the holiday, which is good.
The last one, which came out in 2023, is the Wonderful Mickey, but the short is called Steamboat Silly.
Mm-hmm.
This one's 9 minutes long. And this is basically the last in the series.
Mm.
This particular series is ending.
It's a good way to go out. It was for the 95th.
Yeah, and it's clearly a reference. Mickey's like, let's look at old films, but it's actual
It's
old
a reference
films.
fest, yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And they show actual footage from Steamboat Willie.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's whistling, you see all 4 of them watching, like whistling with it, like...
It's really cute. But then it becomes like a Sorcerer's Apprentice thing where he multiplies and
he
gets
comes
out of the film, and then there's a million Steamboat Willies running around.
Right, and it gets crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realizes he's going to Pied Piper them.
Yeah.
And he does the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse song, which is great.
Yeah.
And I watched today somebody put it alongside of like the actual one and like how like the images actually match up and stuff. There's also a funny bit in this. Again, with references where he's like, I found a bunch of stuff in the attic, and he's like, look, it's my contact lenses, which explains like his
changes the shape of his eye,
and gives him the human looking eyes that he had later on,
which he wears it like for a second on the show, which is so amazing.
Yeah,
I love that.
His Sorcerer's Apprentice hat.
The dancing skeletons show up in this as well.
Yes. Oh yeah. There's so much Dumbo. Like the Steamboat Willies look like the Heffalumps or whatever.
Yeah.
In that crazy scene from Dumbo. And then at the end, like a bunch of film comes out and like Mickey and the Beanstalk and like just all that shit. And it's a good way to end this, I think. Yeah.
So many shorts, like Prince and the Pauper, later stuff that he did.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Yeah. I think I don't know what will come next, but I do think there will be more. Because I think it was a bold move to use this design for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an investment because that's going to be...
It's going to be around for a while.
Right, unless they reskin it with a different version of Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has like the feel of these Paul Rudish stuff.
Yeah.
And I sent you a quote I got from Paul Rudish where he was talking about like... It was like I guess it was like a written interview. Our Mickey is a bit flawed. I think people respond to that. They root for the cheerful optimist, but it's not always an easy road. He's flawed. He's a flawed character. I think it's
it's brilliant because he's flawed without being bad. Right?
Yes.
Like you can still root for him. He's still the Mickey you know and love, except he's got a little texture to him now, you know?
Right. It shows that it's actually like
we didn't turn him into an anti-hero. He's very much a hero.
Yeah.
Still.
And being that optimistic can actually be hard.
It can be hard. It can harm you.
Yeah.
It shows the limitations of the optimism.
Yeah. Well, by George, we did it.
We sure did.
Go check these out. They're all good. We talked about each one, but there are so many gags. I mean, really, the stories are thin. It's just gags, like a classic cartoon.
Yeah.
And there's gags we didn't talk about. They're just chock full of gags and funny shit.
It's genuinely funny. It's genuinely messed up at times. Yeah. Like it's a great show. It's got a lot of my kids love it. Every adult in this house loves it too. Yeah. Like it's great. It works on a lot of levels.
Stuff. It's good stuff. This has been another Mickey episode that started off with a Trump rant.
As all Mickey episodes do.
Mickey wouldn't like Trump because Trump's a bully. When
Trump's a Pete.
Yes, he was. When Trump won the first time. I was working in the summer
Kamala's a daisy.
in boots and all. I was working in like a tutoring center.
Yeah.
And like I was working with little kids for the first time. I was teaching little kids, and a little kid asked me about like, who are you gonna vote for? And I said, Hillary Clinton. And he was like, he said something about Trump. And I said, like, I don't like Trump. And then he goes, why do you like Trump? And I was just like, I can't be political here. So I just said, Trump is a bully, and I don't like bullies.
Mm.
And I felt like that was an accurate thing to say. And I kidified it. I put it in kid language.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's a bully. We don't vote for bullies.
Right.
But we do.
But we do.
This has been PCMC, Pop Culture, Man and Children. I've been Mike Bongiorno. I'm here with Janine Gagliardi. We end every episode, every single one, by saying,
Go bye-bye.